Coming up on Fulton Today, the final week of early voting is here.
Voters in North and South Fulton look to settle some key races in their respective districts ahead of the April 18th Election Day. I'm Priscilla Ortega, and I'll have that story.
And the county's youth commissioners encourage their peers to not even once get involved with drugs. Fulton Today starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. The North Fulton special election, the runoff elections for the city of South Fulton and the city of Roswell are next week. That means this is the final week for early voting. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has our story.
Shania, this is the third week for early voting for the North Fulton special elections, and more people are expected at the polls as this is the only week for early voting for the city of Roswell and South Fulton runoffs.
We've been pleased with the turnout for the special elections in April.
As voters showed up to the polls in North Fulton, many noticed something different about this voting process. Because there are federal, state, and local vacancies, as well as runoffs in the municipal race, some residents have to check into two different databases.
So voters, if they vote an absentee by mail, for example, they have to fill out two different applications, or they might have to vote on two different touch screens, and that will be the case for some voters on Election Day as well.
Here are the races on the ballot in North Fulton. The race for 6th Congressional District, 32nd Senate District, 1 Johns Creek City Council seat, and 1 Roswell City race runoff. In South Fulton, all 7 City Council races and the mayor's race are on the ballot.
Yes, ma'am. This election is a little different.
Registration and Elections Director Rick Barron says the process has been smooth because poll workers have been trained on the changes.
They're professional. They understand how to work under stressful conditions, especially considering they just came off the presidential election. And that's enabled them to adjust to the new procedures this time that are a little more challenging.
Remember, on Election Day, April 18th, you have to vote at your assigned polling location between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. You can find your polling location and sample ballot by going to fultonelections.com or mvp.sos.ga.gov. Now election officials anticipate a runoff for both the Senate and congressional seats. Those elections will happen on May 16th and June 20th. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you very much. Meanwhile, Fulton County employees impacted by the new city of South Fulton, well, they still have questions about the transition, but their optimism remains high. At the most recent employee transition meeting at Sandtown Park, county officials emphasized how they and the governor-appointed transition team are working hard to make this transition smooth.
Hopefully you're seeing that this is progressing as planned, so there's no really new news today on the one hand, but I guess the comforting thing to me is things are going along just as we thought that they would.
Once the elected leadership is in place following the runoff, then definitive decisions can be made about the direction of the city. The employees' future will ultimately be decided by the officials who will be in office by May 1st.
Transition team's job is not to make decisions for the elected officials, it's just to recommend a course of action to the elected officials. So those elected officials can take 100% of the recommendations, they can take 0% of the recommendations. I think we've been very clear on that every time we've met, but they are putting in place what makes sense to be what the new elected officials should do day one starting in May.
The next employee transition meeting takes place April 27th at the Aviation Community Cultural Center.
Just so you know, what he's talking about is
Some Fulton County employees are seeing to it that some homeless citizens get a fresh start. With at least 5,000 metro area teens experiencing some form of homelessness, people can now make a difference in their lives by donating travel-sized goods to Operation Fresh Start. And that is a Hygiene Survival Kit donation initiative that aims to meet the basic hygiene needs of homeless teens.
When we look at the homeless landscape, teens are oftentimes overlooked and they're not as easy to identify. So what we're doing, we're branding it as a fresh start. So we're looking at providing them with hygiene kits and other information that may be able to benefit them in helping them to carry on with their day-to-day activity and hopefully even help to pull them up out of their situation.
Representatives from Fulton's Certified Public Manager Service Learning Project, along with the director of the Youth Commissioners Program, are working together on this project. Various locations around Fulton County have been set up for people to donate items that will be distributed to the teens.
Well, what we're trying to do from a hygiene perspective, we're trying to focus on mostly travel size items such as toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, body wash, feminine products, dental floss, those types of things that are going to be able to help a person in their day-to-day struggles maintain their hygiene.
To learn more information about Operation Fresh Start, call 404-612-8905. Well, statistics and just plain parenting prove that peer pressure can become a part of a teen's life, especially when it involves drugs. Well, Fulton's youth commissioners are determined to keep their peers from making costly mistakes. FGTV's Felicia Church explains.
Introduce the person who's going to introduce
Inside
them.
Camp Creek Middle School, students were encouraged to just say no to drugs. Whether it's trying to fit in, rebel, or simply experimenting, young people have given various reasons for trying drugs. A recent survey taken by students from 50 Fulton County middle and high schools found drugs to be the top issue. The youth commissioners developed an initiative called Not Even Once.
We go throughout schools and do workshops on prevention, intervention, and encouraging young people not to even try the drug once and to think before they act, and a wide range of life skills and decision-making skills.
The launch of the Not Even Once initiative, or NEO as it's called, happened recently at Camp Creek Middle School, where the 6th and 8th graders knew a lot about drugs already due to today's music and media.
I was very surprised to see the knowledge that these students already had about drugs, which is more of a reason why as government, as adults, as guardians to these young people, that we need to be more proactive than reactive in ensuring that they're prepared and equipped for the peer pressure and the exposure that they already have to these types of drugs.
From goggles that give students the feeling of being inebriated and high to a drug kit that shows how drugs look so they won't get tricked into taking them, the interactive workshops were a big hit. They even heard from a guest speaker who started drugs at their age and lost his sight as a result.
I want the kids to know that, due to my story, that the outcome of sometimes the decisions we make, unfortunately mine has to do with drugs, and I want them not to make the same mistakes that I did.
Hearing from someone who's experienced dangers of drugs and from their peers really had the students engaged.
I think the kids are much more receptive to kids like me that are closer to their age, because I feel like they can relate more and that we have more life experience bringing to them. And I think they're much more receptive to the kids talking to them than adults.
It's just great to see the young people engaged to our presentation. They were very engaged. This is a topic that is very important to them.
The NEO tour, which will continue until the end of the school year, will involve visits to 14 more schools and include a minimum of 2 school visits per Fulton County Commission district. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Felicia Church.
And here's some good news to share. One of FGTV's own gets some presidential recognition. Photographer Daryl Peak was one of 50 recipients of this year's President Obama's Lifetime Achievement Award. A ceremony was held at the state capitol in their honor and hosted by Senator Dontella James.
I was so honored to host this event so that recipients of the award of many heroes and sheroes that are never recognized. And I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to bring them here to the Capitol so they could get their awards in their own state.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is the highest honor bestowed upon citizens for making a positive impact as engaged and deeply committed volunteers.
I truly feel honored to receive this award, but it's also very humbling because I don't do this just to get recognition. I like helping people.
The President's Council on Service and Civic Participation launched the program in 2003 to recognize the importance of volunteerism to America's strength and national identity. Way to go, Daryl. And still to come on Fulton Today, it's lights, camera, and action for some young adults who may want a life in the film industry. Details next in our district-by-district coverage. Young adults learn what it's like to be in the film industry, and business professionals are welcomed to the county. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage. We begin with Chairman John Eves and the Conference of Minority Public Administrators. The group held its 46th annual meeting at the Sheraton in downtown Atlanta. The at-large commissioner took part in the conference, whose theme this year was Public Administration: Emerging Strategies Leading to a More Inclusive and Diverse Society.
These are individuals across the country who fill a variety of roles in terms of leadership within government, whether it's on a local, state, or federal level. And these are individuals who play a very important role in terms of policy development.
The Conference of Minority Public Administrators is based in Washington, D.C., and its mission is to serve and assist public administrators, students, and other professionals involved in public service. In District 4, a sold-out audience enjoys the annual fashion show at the Harriet G. Darnell Senior Multipurpose Facility. The Darnell Fashion Team of Distinction produced and performed 8 scenes to the delight of onlookers.
The most enjoyable part were the styles. Everybody had their own unique way. Their clothing, their fashions were just really elegant.
The senior models had rehearsed for weeks to get ready for the big show that benefits the Friends of Darnell nonprofit organization.
I support every event they have because the board does so much to try to help us have a better quality of life. And I want to show my appreciation by participating.
Each of the seniors wore their own clothes.
It was an awe in the atmosphere. First class all the way. And I can't wait till my latter years because I know we'll be looking good.
Now, I had the pleasure of serving as fashion show commentator, and Commissioner Emma I. Darnell had the pleasure of seeing the show and supporting the seniors. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. collaborates with WorkSource Fulton to host the first annual Industry Expo for young adults. The film, television, and interactive entertainment event exposed youth ages 16 to 24 to the many diverse careers available in the entertainment industry in Georgia.
There's so many different jobs that are available in the movie industry and the entertainment industry. And so this is an opportunity for people that want to learn those skills to be able to come out and learn from professionals so that they can be in a better position to be hired for jobs in the future.
I've seen a program just over there that it's a 10-week intensive program every Saturday. It's a free program, and we get to learn just industry standard practices, industry jargon, and after those 10 weeks, you have a very good chance of getting a job as a production assistant.
The expo is really just to create more exposure. We want to groom local talent to become a part of this booming film industry. And so we're just glad, as far as Workforce Fulton, we're glad that we can participate in it. We can bring these experts out and talk about the industry.
The free event at the Amerismart Atlanta Convention Center was the first time the county's WorkSource Fulton team focused on the entertainment industry. Another event will be scheduled in the future. And finally, District 6 Commissioner and the Fulton County Public Works Department officially cut the ribbon to celebrate the completion of a major improvement project. Phase 1 of the Fairburn Road upgrade project is done thanks to the conclusion of the sidewalk improvements.
Special thanks goes out to this community who stood with us and stayed with us until we got this done. And so we look forward to continuing on down Fairburn Road, but we are so appreciative of being able to reach this marker so that our children will know that there was a time and a place in 2017 where they were respected.
The Fairburn Road area has seen quite a bit of growth over the years, and the old intersection was more of an open Y type of intersection, whereas this one we were able to turn it into a more traditional right angle intersection with the turn lanes and the traffic signal and everything else that goes along with it, the crosswalks, the pedestrian signals, and as well as street lights along the corridor.
The project extends a half-mile along Fairburn Road from Village Drive to Cascade Road.
With the improvements that have come, it's made it even more of a destination, I would say, because parents need a place for their children to go, and we need proper areas where we can drive to and fro.
Utoy Springs Road from the intersection at Fairburn Road to the northeast was also improved, as was resurfacing work along Utoy Springs Road and Research Center Drive up to Cascade Road. And when Fulton Today continues, some seniors use their own skills to highlight some real-life issues impacting the community. Stay with us. Well, seniors bring real-life issues to the stage in a program that was all about Alzheimer's and depression and how it can impact a community. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn explains.
But the outcome of my life has already been planned.
Poetry readings and singing were just some of the ways participants in the It's Real, It's Us event helped teach and explain the differences between dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and depression.
All of our senior multipurpose centers came out for this event, so it was a great way to spread love to those who are challenged by Alzheimer's.
Commissioners, Alzheimer's experts, and those impacted by the disease also came together to promote the Adult Day program. The Fulton County program is available for those 55 and older who have disabilities or who are experiencing the early onset of dementia and/or Alzheimer's.
Coming to the Adult Day programs, it won't stop the disease, but it will halt it because we are doing nutrition, we're doing good nutrition, we're doing exercise, we're doing socialization and social cognitive skills.
They come together to get to fellowship with each other. They may not remember who they saw, but they remember the faces, they remember the smiles, they remember the little conversations that they may have, and it's just a good a way of coming together, sharing.
An Alzheimer's Association representative says about 140,000 people in Georgia have Alzheimer's disease. There are tests a primary care provider can give to see if someone is experiencing that disease.
So if one thinks that they may have problems remembering things or recently learned information, we would recommend that they get a memory screening done by their primary care provider and really pay attention to things that are abnormal. So it has to be a change from their baseline, and that's really what the physician will look for.
To learn more about the Adult Day program, you can call the Star Line, that number 404-613-6000. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
Fulton's health team is helping to recruit adults who want to help with the well-being of children. During an information session at the Oak Hill Child, Adolescent, and Family Center, residents learned about CASA, That is the Court-Appointed Special Advocates Program.
What we do is advocate for the best interests of children who have been abused or neglected and have been taken out of their home and put into the protective custody of the state. And they're going through juvenile dependency court proceedings to determine the services that they need to heal and any other issues that we identify. But then most importantly, we're trying to determine where that child is going to live permanently.
The volunteer recruiter for CASA says there is a dire need for volunteers. Currently, there are about 175 in Fulton, and they're hoping to reach 300 volunteers within the next 2 years. The information session is the first step towards becoming a volunteer. Prospective volunteers must also fill out the online application, interview, and complete 40 hours of training. For more information, you can go to fultoncountycasa.org. And Fulton's health professionals are also giving residents the tools they need for a healthy lifestyle. During the Tools for Success event presented by Partnerships to Improve Community Health, or our PITCH program, employees demonstrated healthy nutrition strategies and resources. The event at the Oak Hill Child, Adolescent, and Family Center is the second part in the learning series. Participants included daycare and senior center employees, as well as faith-based leaders. Now, the idea is to teach the employees and leaders about healthy lifestyles so that they can spread the message throughout their entire organization.
In our efforts to address chronic disease and illness across Fulton County, we want to equip people with the information, the knowledge, the education, and the know-how to begin to have an impact in their lives.
PITCH employees hold a number of events throughout the county to promote healthy eating through cost-saving strategies. The events also encourage residents to be more active as well as live in a smoke-free environment. Want more information? Well, just call 404-612-3492. And still to come on Fulton Today, get ready to cut a rug. It's all a part of this year's National Dance Week celebration. Stay with us. Well, for those of you who want to better your green thumb, here is some free help. Cooperative Extension agents are advising to first test your soil to prepare your garden to find out what nutrients you may need to add. Another tip is to learn what plants are best for your yard before you purchase them. Plants marked full sun require 8 hours or more of sunlight.
Planting it anywhere else, you're going to run into issues. As plants get stressed, it's like an open invitation to pests and diseases. So a lot of times when we see plants that have insect damage or disease, that's a secondary issue. The primary issue was that it was probably not planted in the right place.
Partial light plants only require 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Agents say another way residents kill their plants is by either overwatering or underwatering their plants. For more information, you can call 404-332-2400. And finally, get those dance moves ready because we're about to celebrate Dance Week. Just like in previous years, this dance month, the Arts and Culture Department is hosting a number of free dance events. This year's theme is Everybody's Dance Now.
Fulton County wants everyone to get up and groove and just feel good and know that dance can be done at any age. It can be done at any outlet, and that's what I hope everyone will leave from this experience.
The county will showcase all genres of dance and encourage residents to get on their feet and participate.
We're offering ballroom dance for seniors. We're offering West African class with Giwayan Mata. We're also offering hip hop and voguing, which would be a first time, I guess, kind of for Fulton County.
The free dance workshops and performances will be held from April 20th through April 29th. For a complete list of events and to register for a workshop, visit fultonarts.org or call 404-612-5780. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and watch us anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.